Hey there, creepy peep. Today I'm going to be talking about my top holiday horror picks for Christmas horror movies. I should have come up with a better title. Really quick though, before I get into anything else, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. These are like my 5 go-to holiday horror movies, also ones that maybe some of them, like most people know, I feel like most people know about all of these movies, but these are ones that I feel like don't get talked about enough, or most of them don't get talked about enough, and they need to be on everybody's go-to holiday horror list. I'm not going to be talking about certain ones like Gremlins and Black Christmas. I still love those movies, but I feel like they're very popular and everybody knows how awesome they are, so I just felt like I didn't need to go over it. You guys already know. Alright, so in no particular order, here are my top 5 holiday horror picks. Number 5, obviously Krampus by Michael Dougherty. Honestly, just pure joy in movie form. It's the perfect combination of like classic family holiday movies and, you know, like a folklore fright fest with a generous helping of practical effects and puppetry and a fucking awesome cast. Like, if you don't watch anything else on this list, Krampus. You need to watch Krampus. Number 4 on the list, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Not for everybody. It kind of lays it on thick in the traumatizing childhood department, but this movie pretty much accurately reflects my feelings on the holiday season as somebody who's worked in retail for many years, and in a mall, no less. Like, just low-key, I want to dress as Santa and kill everybody with an axe. Also, this movie pissed a lot of people off when it premiered, which is always fun. I love a movie that pisses people off, especially when it's a holiday movie. And this was one of the movies we talked about along with Red Christmas this past Friday for Does This Offend You over on Spooky Astronauts channel, so I'll leave a link for the live stream in case you missed it in the description if you want to hear us talk about this movie and Red Christmas, which are both really controversial movies. In addition to that, I am posting this video in collaboration with a smaller channel but a very awesome channel, Something Ghoulish, which is like a really cool like introspective horror channel. So he does these really cool videos like, you know, going over the history of German expressionism and how it influenced horror and things like that, and it's very cool. So if you like that kind of like intellectual side of the horror genre, I highly recommend Something Ghoulish. So I'll leave a link for his channel in the description if you want to check it out. And Anthony, the creator of Something Ghoulish, will be featured at the end of this video, and he's gonna tell us his top holiday horror picks. But I'll finish my list really quick and then we'll get to Anthony. Number 3 on my list is A Christmas Horror Story, my favorite Christmas horror anthology. It's not perfect, but it has some good shorts in it, and the wraparound story is like has one of the best twists I've ever seen. Like, it was so well done, jaw hit the floor, totally surprising, like very good indie horror pick in general, but a very good Christmas horror movie also. And it covers a little bit of everything as well. You know, you got like some Krampus in there, you got some like supernatural possession stuff, you got general psychos, even more folklore, like not even Krampus. You got other folklore going on, so it's got a little bit of everything for everybody, so I highly recommend it. Number 2 on my list is P2. This movie isn't overly Christmassy, so if you want something that's not too oversaturated with Christmas stuff, but still creepy and still gory and thrilling, highly recommend P2. Plus, we have Wes Bentley being all hot in Psycho. And number 1 on my list is Rare Exports, the way underrated foreign pick on this list. Honestly, this movie is nothing like you've ever seen before. That's talking it way up, I feel like, but I'm not gonna give anything away, but it gives a whole new meaning to like the commercialization side of Christmas. Highly recommend. I might even, like, at least compared to these 5, I feel like a lot of people have probably heard of Krampus more than Rare Exports. So I might actually, and I love Krampus and I love Michael Dougherty, but if you haven't seen anything on this list, I think I'm going to change it to Rare Exports. Watch Rare Exports, it's so good. Okay, so like I mentioned before, Anthony from Something Ghoulish is also here guesting on this channel to tell us his top holiday horror picks. So take it away, Anthony.
Hey, I'm Anthony, the host and creator of Something Ghoulish, and me and Nightmare Maven are teaming up to give you our top 10 holiday horror films. Some are old, some are new, and some are more so horror adjacent, but there's definitely going to be a little bit of everything for everyone. So, let's get started. So number 10, like I said, some of these are going to be horror adjacent, and you may not super agree with me, but that's okay. My number 10 is going to be Robert Zemeckis' A Christmas Carol, and the only reason I put it on there is because some of the disturbing and intense imagery that is featured in his film. Some of the ghosts for a Christmas movie, for a children's Christmas movie, are some of the most unique and intense, scary, dramatic ghosts I've seen in a children's film, and that's why it had to make the list. And if you haven't seen this rendition, and I know there's millions of renditions of Christmas Carol out there, you definitely need to watch it. I highly recommend it. Number 9. So number 9 is going to be another animated children's film, and I promise we'll get into some of the real good holiday horror films after this. But number 9 is, of course, going to be The Nightmare Before Christmas. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a classic. It's for people like me who don't want to let go of the Halloween season just yet. I mean, you could even see behind me, I have my Gilman Christmas tree. And it just adds something different and new to the holiday season. I watched it all the time as a kid, and it was something that really got me into the horror genre. I rewatched it the other night, and as I was watching it mentally, I could go through all the different musical scenes, and I could recite almost every word verbatim. So The Nightmare Before Christmas is one that hits close to home for me. All right, number 8 is actually gonna be a Christmas special. It's a newer Christmas special, and it's gonna be Black Mirror's White Christmas with John Hamm. It's kind of psychological, has these thriller elements to it, but it's very morose and depressing, and of course within Black Mirror the consequences of technology, and the consequences of humanity having this technology. And since that episode is probably like an hour or so long, I mean, it feels like a full feature. White Christmas, Black Mirror is definitely a newer favorite of mine. Number 7 is also going to be a Christmas special for me. It's actually a newer Christmas special, and that's going to be Into the Dark's Puka. Made by Blumhouse and distributed on Hulu. Puka is this strange, Christmas Carol-esque, I think is one of the most successful of the Into the Dark series right now. You can actually see I have my own little puka that Hulu sent to me, so thank you very much. But it kind of has these multifaceted layers to it, very much like A Christmas Carol, where you kind of get to see this main character from different points in his life. And the fact that the actual puka is rooted in myth is really cool. Celtic myth, I believe. So yeah, Puka is gonna be number 7 for me. Number 6 is gonna be a classic. I actually just watched it this year. I never saw it like growing up or anything, but it's gonna be Black Christmas. Black Christmas is a classic, and of course I'm talking about the original Black Christmas. This group of fraternity girls, they get this strange call, someone's harassing them, and then you find out someone's killing them off one by one on Christmas Eve or on Christmas, and You're led to believe maybe it's one of the girl's boyfriends, and then you find out, oh, it's not. It's someone in the house, someone completely different in the house, and you never really find out who the killer is, which is really cool. One of my favorite characters in that is the house mother, who's like hiding booze everywhere. It's fucking hilarious. I love her, and it's just kind of this wicked slasher flick. Highly recommend it. If you haven't already seen it, if you're like me and you haven't already seen it. Some of you guys are really gonna kill me for the next one. Number 5, I believe. I already lost count. But I grew up on this one, and it's so bad it's good. I just absolutely love the kills in it. It's so ridiculous. But Jack Frost from, I think, 1996. You know, very, very in the vein of Chucky, where a serial killer possesses a snowman, and you kind of have all these ridiculous snow puns, which that really shaped my humor a lot growing up. But I saw this on once in a while during the holiday season, and I've always gone back to it. I think it's you can watch it for free right now on Vudu, and also some of the bullshit science in it. They end up killing the snowman with antifreeze. It's not a great movie, and I'm not saying it's great by any means, but it's so bad it's good. And if you enjoy kind of that, I highly recommend it. I believe we're on number 4, and this is going to be a newer release. Came out, I think, in 2017 or 2016. I was kind of watching the release of it, and I just never got a chance to watch it until this year on Shudder. But Better Watch Out. Better Watch Out is phenomenal, and I'm not going to go into it too much since it's a newer film, and I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it yet. But it plays on the idea of kind of a Home Alone, where these kids are in this house sometime during the Christmas holiday season, and someone breaks in, and it kind of plays on the idea of being a darker, more disturbing, fucked up, dark comedy version of Home Alone. And I really hope they make a sequel for it. All the kid actors in that did a phenomenal job. It has some of the 2 actors. I know this wasn't a great film, but some of the kid actors from The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit, they did a phenomenal job. But Better Watch Out, highly recommend that one. It's a really fun watch. If you kind of like these intricate kills and layered stories, it's something you can watch and kind of pick apart as you're watching it a couple times. You're like, oh, that's how they did this and that. And, but yeah, Better Watch Out for sure. Number 3 is actually going to be Silent Night, Deadly Night. I will tell you now, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is not on this list, even though that movie is just absolutely gold. But Silent Night, Deadly Night, yeah, if classic holiday slasher, a young guy dressed as Santa going around killing people who he thinks deserves to be punished because they've been naughty. The film is kind of this beautiful backdrop for how to make a serial killer. Just like punishing kids and reprimanding them for their trauma. One of the big things with the film was the controversy that came out of it in 1984. And if you want to know more about Silent Night, Deadly Night, I actually cover the history of the controversy, the protests, and what that means for horror films and censorship over on my channel. So you should definitely check that out. Number 2 is probably going to be Krampus. Krampus, directed by Michael Dougherty, the guy who's doing the new King of the Monsters film and who did Trick or Treat. He has such a way with creature design, and when that film came out, I loved it for the fact that he went almost nearly 100% practical with the monsters in that film. My biggest gripe with Krampus is it's very cynical, and I know that's very much the point, but but regardless, it's one of those films that has a great Christmas backdrop, has great monsters, great kills, a great family dynamic. Toni Collette does phenomenal in it. Adam Scott does phenomenal in it. You know, great cast. Krampus, if you haven't already seen it, definitely watch that. Put it on your list for this holiday season. And number one for me is actually going to be Gremlins. Probably saw it coming a mile away. But Gremlins, I think, is one of the most perfect holiday horror films. And I say that because I actually made a tweet about this the other day. The one thing that Gremlins does that Krampus and Silent Night, Deadly Night and a bunch of other holiday horror films can't manage somehow is it realizes the importance of the holiday season. It keeps the heart of the holiday season in it. You know, regardless of all these creatures running around and wreaking havoc, there still seems to be a happiness and a warmness and a family dialogue to it, that you don't leave the movie feeling like depressed or sad, you know, on a downer. You know, it's a fun creature feature holiday horror film all the way through. It makes up for it with the family dynamic and you know, whatever lessons to be learned. I think my favorite scene out of Gremlins is when they're messing with the old lady on the chairlift and she flies out the window. That's my absolute favorite scene. I lose it every time. So I'm sure all of you have your own different lists, and I'd really love to hear it, and you should definitely comment that below. What is a holiday horror film that you watch every year? If some of your favorites are some of mine, definitely let me know. This was really fun doing this, and thank you, Nightmare Maven, for having me on the show and letting me spout a little bit about my favorite holiday horror films. You should definitely subscribe to Nightmare Maven. She has some great, phenomenal reviews that she does on this channel. And if you want to find me, you can find me at Ghoulish Show on Twitter and Something Ghoulish here on YouTube. I do analytical and introspective videos on horror films and what these horror films mean for the horror genre. So definitely check those out too. I hope all of you have a very scary holiday season, and thanks for watching.
So that's the video. Anthony from Something Ghoulish is also posting a video all about the controversial side of Silent Night, Deadly Night. So as soon as that video is up, I'll make sure it's linked in the description if you want to check it out. Go over there and check it out. Make sure you tell them Nightmare Maven sent ya. All right, and I want to know your top 5, top 10, top whatever holiday horror movie picks in the comment section down below. So please share and give us all ideas of something to watch to get us through the holiday season and to get us through all the awkward family get-togethers. Sorry, I sound like I'm dying. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video, even though it doesn't always work. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!